This is Chie Satonaka, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast. You better eat more meat.
Hello and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick. Joining me as always is Taylor.
What's up?
And Brandon.
What's up, guys?
How's everyone doing?
Winding down before the Christmas break, you know, it's kind of a slow week.
You're lucky you could be winding down.
Yeah, you're very lucky. As for me, people are calling out, so I gotta do double the work for the most part.
And I work retail, so it's always busy.
Oh, yeah.
We wanted to work. We're working on this like multi-stage project, and the guy's like, yeah, the people we need to film with aren't going to be around until January. And we're like, dang it, because that would have been extra pay. It would have been nice, but alas.
You're doing all right?
Cleanup.
Are you doing all right? Doing okay? Everything's good?
Yeah, I'm actually coming out on Monday.
What?
Which is probably not the best idea, but I am.
You're coming
for
out?
Christmas. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
No, I'm not gay. Sorry.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, right?
Like,
That was going on.
Coming out to California on Monday. Nick was just like so confused. I was like, can't you read my brain? Don't you know what I mean?
I was also thinking to myself, like, he doesn't say that much about like best girl stuff all the time. And I was like, no, he's not gay. Like, he's not. There's anything wrong with that.
I was just trying to figure it out because I was like, okay, it's not this. What is he trying to say? Is he joking? What's going on here? Is something coming out on his YouTube channel? I just don't know.
No. And I got my COVID test today, negative.
So you have to take a test to go?
I don't think I have to, but my family's being like really ultra like careful right now. Mm-hmm. Like my cousin who still lives at home, like he came back from a trip and his family was like, nope, you go up, you wear that mask, you stay upstairs until you get a COVID test. And so I'm like, well, you know, just to make everybody feel better, I might as well get one before I leave and then get one when I get there. So
then how long are you going to be here?
I think exactly 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think you have to actually. I think you have to quarantine for 14 days here.
Yeah, my thought is I'm only going to see my family, and as long as I get a test and they're okay with me being around, then that's fine. I think I was technically supposed to quarantine when I came out over the summer, but I didn't. So
it's okay. It's okay. No one.
I'm the rule breaker.
No one's watching.
Gavin Newsom's going to throw me in jail.
No one's here. No one's watching. That's going to rat you out. So
that's right.
You're good. Let's get some. Let's talk about some non-JRPG news. Apparently, there's this pretty big game that got released called Cyberpunk. It's kind of niche, and but some people are playing it, and some people are having a bad time. You guys want to fill me in on that? I've only heard rumors because it is such a niche game and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Shadow, if you want to kind of lead it off because this was kind of your idea, but
yeah, I'll start this off. All right, so a couple of years ago, CD Projekt Red released a game called The Witcher 3, and everybody loved that game. They sucked that game off dry completely. They just they thought that game was amazing. So now CD Projekt Red, after the release of Witcher 3 and how well it was received, they pretty much came out as the darlings of the industry. Like, everybody loves them. Like, this is how you do a game right. This is how you do downloadable content. CD Projekt Red came out and said, we don't do the loot boxes and the greed. We leave that to other developers. So, everybody loves them. And then people, as a result, were hyping up this game called Cyberpunk 2077. They were loving it. They were saying this game is going to be revolutionary. It's going to be amazing. It's going to find them a wife. It's going to get them kids. It's going to do all this amazing stuff for them. And then December came along. And it released. And let me tell y'all, this game was not anything like people were saying. This game is damn near unplayable on last gen consoles, the Xbox One and PS4. Yes, this is current gen, it's PS5 and the Series X and S. And
it does feel weird when you say that.
yeah, it really does.
Especially when you don't have one.
Yeah, so the games are unplayable on last gen consoles, and CD Projekt Red, before the game came out, because there's a review embargoes and whatnot and such, they gave codes to reviewers, but only for the PC version. So it was only for the PC version of the game. Now, as a matter of fact, on top of that, the people reviewing the game couldn't use their own footage. They had to use footage provided to them by CD Projekt Red. So CD Projekt Red knew that these last gen consoles, the PS4 and the Xbox version, weren't working up to snuff, which doesn't make any sense because this game was announced in 2012? What was they developing this game for? I don't know. So yes, it doesn't run good. They got some shady practices going on at CD Projekt Red. They wanted our money. They got $8 million in pre-orders. 8 million pre-orders. They already broke even. Everything they make from this point on is nothing but net profit for them. So now they come out with a statement that, oh, we're sorry about the game launch. If you want a refund, we'll be happy to give you one. And then Xbox and Sony were like, huh? Refunds? Huh? Mm-hmm. People trying to get refunds on PS4 and it's just not happening. So he's like, no, I don't know what CD Projekt Red said, but we ain't giving you no refunds. So yeah, this game has been a nightmare. Not only before all of that is going on, but there's rumors going around. Now I haven't played the game myself, but I'm just hearing from other sources, big review channels, saying that this game is not anything that was promised at all. Like they promised like dynamic choices and a whole bunch of branching paths. They're not really all that different. They promised dynamic police chase. They don't really chase you for that long. They chase you for like 5 seconds and you're free to do whatever the hell you want. It's just a complete and utter mess. 2020 has been insane, and for Cyberpunk and CD Projekt Red from going to top tier developer from one game, mind you, people's expectations have really been in check, to just down in the dumpsters almost right next to EA, but they might be lower than EA because even EA doesn't give review codes to people and tell them that you can't use your own footage. We use the footage that we provide for you. That is literally like beyond loot boxes, beyond gacha stuff. That is the most scumbag thing I have ever heard in my life. Unbelievable. A way to cover the narrative, if you will. But
I don't know if I've ever seen a review embargo that strict. Like,
no,
I can't remember a game that's ever said like, not only can you only review the PC version, but you can't use your own footage. Like, I can't remember anybody ever doing that.
I never heard of that before in my life. That, like I said, that's the most scumbag thing I've ever seen in gaming.
I think some Call of Duties have done that.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I've heard of this before. It's usually a bad sign it usually means that the game is not up to snuff.
Yeah.
There's only one game, and usually getting review codes the day of.
Oh, that's another thing. They didn't get enough. They gave like review codes out like a week prior to release, which Cyberpunk was going down to be like a 100-hour game or something like that. It's supposed to be really long, and CD Projekt Red only gave them like a week to beat the game, pretty much, and that's just a bad sign right there.
I heard it's only 30 hours and 40 hours of side quests.
Yeah, just pretty much about. It might be even less than that if you go straight for the main story, and that's it. So yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. I never thought I would see. I didn't want the game to fail. I really didn't. I wanted the game to be good because I wanted to buy it myself to see what was all the hype about. But now, I'm excluded from it. I didn't want to participate in the beta test that they apparently rolled out. So
I mean, that's a perfect way to put it. Because I was the same way. I was already gonna be like, they're delaying it, and we haven't seen footage. I'm like, man, and I didn't realize that the current gen versions didn't come out on day one. They're not coming out till next year at some point.
Yep.
And so my thought was like, oh, I want to play it. It looks cool, but I'll just wait until the current gen versions come out, or there's enough people that say, okay, now it's playable enough to where you can actually play it. Because like I've seen all kinds of crazy bugs.
Yep. The biggest thing that turned me off about this game for me to be interested in is that they went from like the beginning of when it was first shown off, they went from third person to first person, which honestly that was a red flag right there. Why would you go from third person to first person, a genre that you're not all that familiar with? You've done all your games, which are 1, 2, and 3, all in third person. Now all of a sudden you really want to go into first person, which kind of led me to believe that you're trying to. It's probably easier to make a first-person game than a third-person game because you don't have to pay attention to all that much detail. Maybe, I guess. And then they said that the cutscenes would be like in third person, so you can see your created character. No, they changed that up completely to being full force first-person view on all cutscenes. So, there have been signs. There was breadcrumbs leading up to this, but nobody decided to look at them. Nobody decided to heed them because it was CD Projekt Red, the darlings of the industry.
Everybody likes to, eat into the hype,
Yeah.
There was no way they were gonna reach the hype that they got.
Oh yeah, it was impossible. It was supposed to be the best looking game and the most in depth and revolutionized combat and choice and all, there was no way they could have possibly lived up to all of it all. It was just too much.
Yeah, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, they should have delayed the PS4 version, the last gen versions." Basically, I'm like, you have any idea? Oh no, cancel. I'm sorry, canceled the PS4 and Xbox One versions. You have any idea how much flack they would have got for canceling those versions outright? Unless they did like a free upgrade, they would have got so much flack for that. Probably more so, or just as much flack as they're receiving now. They could not cancel those versions.
Is the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions out?
No, I don't know. They don't even know if there's a release date.
I think it's next year.
Just sometime next year. My assumption is that's when those versions come out. That's when the game's gonna be like fixed.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, the reason why I didn't even get it is because I was just gonna get the Game of the Year edition with all the DLC 2 years out from now when everything's fixed.
Yeah. That's the way to go.
Then I think, what was the other thing? I can't even remember right now. God, so much stuff surrounding this game. I can't even think right now.
I feel like I hit a nerve when I brought this up.
Not really. I'm just so fascinated by it. It's provided me with a lot of entertainment. It's helping me get through work. Just listen to a whole bunch of Cyberpunk videos right now. But yeah, it's sad.
Just listen to everyone. I'm really mad. Yeah. So, Cyberpunk is I said this before, is can't think of this right now. Oh my gosh, the name.
A mess?
No, not a mess. Game? It's an Ubisoft game. There you go.
Ubisoft game.
It is definitely an Ubisoft game.
What does that mean exactly when you say that?
Because Ubisoft games have a tendency to release or show off. Well, they, back in the day, they show off amazing demos, and then the games turn out to be nothing like the demos that they showed off.
Yeah, like Watch Dogs and Rainbow Six, they had huge downgrades.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Beyond Good and Evil is the same thing.
Dude, what happened to that game? My God.
Yeah, what happened to that game?
They showed it off. They showed it off. Remember, it was like some ship game, and everyone's like, "What the hell?" And they were like, "Oh, this is gonna be like a huge exploration world to explore and all this. You can fly to different planets." I'm like, "Okay, this game is done. It's gonna be."
Listen, I'm gonna say straight up, huge world exploration. It's all overrated. You don't need all that in the game. Like you really don't.
You don't.
Like have a nice condensed experience and you'll be alright.
Just like Falcom. Falcom has learned they learned from their mistakes with Cold Steel, making it huge and a big cast of characters. Their next game, a little bit small cast and a smaller world.
Yeah,
but that's another topic for later today.
Okay.
Let's just go to the first bit of news that I'm going to talk about. Granblue Fantasy Relink adds PS5 version and is going to launch in 2022. How do you guys feel about that, huh?
Oh
Wow.
boy, we got a lot to say. I mean, you know what was really funny is on Twitter I mentioned that this was this weekend. I'm like, expect a trailer and a release date, and Shadow's like, we'll see. And we got one, but it was not the date I was expecting. I remember I watched it live. I couldn't sleep that night, so I was up at like 4 a.m. watching this live. And then the release date came up for 2022, and I like couldn't believe that was
Wow.
the release year. Because I was at first, before they played the gameplay footage, they did this little like talk through where they're like, oh, so we had to use a new engine, and we wanted to have a nice production pipeline, and you're like, oh, we're scaling up for release in 2022. And I'm like, that can't be right. I'm like, 2022, that can't be right. And then they did the gameplay demo, and then they have that little end screen at the end of the demo. I'm like, oh my god, it's true.
Yeah, but you notice that the demo, it looks way different now. It feels different if you watch it. Did you get that feeling?
Yeah. Everybody, I mean, people are saying it definitely looks different. And I think a lot of people are concerned that it is turning into more of like a dungeon crawler, Monster Hunter type game, and not like a single player JRPG. And I'm like, I think that's just what that game is now, unfortunately.
It is.
But the really frustrating thing is I don't know what happened with the platinum version of this game, because Platinum was working on it, and then Side Games took them off the game. And so we're like, oh, well, they're just gonna polish and finish it. But from the sounds of it, it sounds like they just started over. And they had their own engine and all this stuff, and that's what's going to take another 2 years. Is we have to redo all the assets, do the quest. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm shocked that they essentially scrapped the platinum version and they started over. But I guess the thought is this game is going to live for a while. It sounds like, because it's multiplayer, so multiplayer live service game. So they want to get the production pipeline down so they can add new content easier. But very, very disappointing that they got pushed another couple of years. But I was predicting that there was going to be a PS5 version, so that's good. Makes sense.
I like how it's at the stage of development of alpha version, which says various features and resources are either unfinished or using temporary assets, but the game is in its entirety is generally in a playable state. But the game is pretty much there, so they just have to fix things up. But a whole year to fix this up, that's what's kind of suspect.
Well, they even said they're like, don't expect to hear anything next year, because they're just like, they're going
What?
dark. Yeah, they said that.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So I think they're just going dark, putting their heads down, finishing the game, and then in 2022 they'll have more news, I guess.
I have a feeling it's going to come out early 2022.
That would be nice.
Because I think what they're doing is that they're going to spend this whole year or a whole next year just adding a bunch of characters. If the gameplay is just done, the game itself is just done, they're probably just going to be adding a bunch of characters, because Granblue is all about its characters.
Yeah, they had a character in there that I've never seen before. I don't know. I've seen the character drawing of her, but I've never seen her in Relink. She I think she's a healer. She has like these rose thorn abilities. Like in the gameplay demo, you can see like these roses that are kind of like all over the battlefield, and I think it's like an area of effect heal type of thing.
Rosetta,
is that her name? Well, makes sense. Yeah, because I saw Gita, Catalina, and then I forget the mage's name, but I've seen her. She was in the very first trailer. And then I've seen other trailers where it's just like 4 guys. It's like Gran and then like 4 knights, and I think they're all in.
They're in versus.
Versus, yeah. So that you might be right. They might just be adding a bunch of characters. But Shadow, I know you have a lot of pent up frustration. So,
yeah, this whole thing is looking mad spooky. This game is
mad spooky.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't think this game is gonna live up to whatever hype it has. All these delays don't make no sense. This game was announced in 2016. I understand there was a conflict between Side Games and Platinum Games. And Platinum, they developed the battle system, and side games doing everything else, and probably there was some type of disagreement, or maybe Platinum Games contract ran out and it was like, all right, we're done with our stuff, we're gonna move on, you can take care of the rest. And maybe side games didn't take it seriously. I don't know, but I'm looking at gameplay that was released I think a year ago and the gameplay that was released a couple of days ago, and it's night and day. It's got the same UI and same general feeling, but it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's the source material that I'm viewing on YouTube. It's 960 FPS. That's first of all, and the combos don't look anywhere near as smooth as the gameplay that I'm looking at a year prior.
Are you looking at the one where they're like going down? It looks like this village, and there's a lot of wind. Is that the one you're looking at?
For the new or old?
The old one.
The old one, I'm looking at 4 people fighting dragons.
Oh, that okay, yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. So it looks complete like that. This is the game I want. That's the game I wanted. This game just looks like, okay, maybe the way it looks now looks like maybe a generic hack and slash kind of. I don't know, man. This game doesn't make any sense why this game is taking this long to come out. Like maybe like Taylor said, they got to rework a lot of assets. They got to, I guess, create a whole bunch of characters, like Nick said. I don't know, man. This is terrible. Like if this game comes out and flops, I'm not going to be surprised, honestly.
Yeah, it says right here at the end of 2020 that what their development is we're currently nearing the final stages of development and going all in on asset creation. So it looks like my hypothesis is correct.
Yeah. And so it's probably like character creation, balancing, all that stuff. I mean, that's the hardest part about making an RPG. I feel like, is balancing it all and making sure that you don't get too overpowered and there's a challenge and stuff like that. So
then you get if you don't do that, then you get freaking class 7 and break the game.
That's right.
I don't know if the source gameplay I'm looking at is good, but maybe the game is running okay. I think the game.
I'm wondering.
No. You know why it doesn't? You know why it's not running at 60 FPS? Because for some reason Japan streams at 30.
That could be it. Yeah.
Every Japan stream is always at 30.
Okay, that was my guess. I'm like, maybe it just doesn't. Yeah, it was like an old build, or it's just because it's a stream, it won't. Yeah, it won't run as well.
But the characters look way better. There's more detail. They don't look like freaking cell shaded and all that, or like super cell shaded, like the beginning when I first showed. It doesn't look like Genshin Impact. There you go. Before it looked like Genshin Impact, which looks good, but now it's more detailed.
Okay, it doesn't look that bad. I'm looking at some new gameplay. Okay, wait, no, man, this is 2018. Never mind. Never mind. This is from 2018. No wonder it looks so good. Yeah, I have no idea where to see some gameplay. If you guys have a link to see some gameplay, because all I see is the girl on the ship fighting.
Oh no, yeah, that's the
yeah, that's the newest one.
That's the newest one. Okay, all right. So yeah, this gameplay don't look nowhere near as smooth. It's like you guys may have said, the source might not be at 60. Japan doesn't stream at 60. Maybe that could be it, but this don't look all that enticing.
I mean, you are playing,
and I'm hoping there is some sort of like explorable world. I hope it's not all these linear dungeon style levels, and if that's the case, then that's okay. Because I like games like that, but I'm hoping that it's a little more open.
Well, Taylor, it's all about flying in the sky and finding these small worlds. That's what Granblue Fantasy is. So,
the mobile game?
No, just this. The world is just a bunch of worlds in the sky, and you use airships that travel to them.
Okay, I don't know that about Granblue Fantasy except for the love.
So maybe it's you fly around in this, and you use your airship to fly to different worlds, and that's like a menu kind of thing. But then the world itself is like open, and you can explore it. Maybe that's what they're going for.
Maybe, but I'm getting a sneaking, because all we've seen of gameplay are these style levels. So I'm getting a sneaking suspicion it's just going to be like dungeon style levels with a boss at the end.
Yeah, maybe.
But again, I liked Monster Hunter World a lot, so that's what this game ends up being. That's okay.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's what it could be. Yeah, that's what it could be, because like Granblue probably has the same thing on the phone where you're taking them like 4 party members in battle, and you're fighting waves with enemies, and then you get to boss, and then
Yep.
that's probably it. And I'm guessing maybe the story will probably be visual novel-esque, maybe, especially if it's taking this long.
Have they
Probably
shown? Have they ever shown like story stuff yet, dude?
Yes,
Nothing.
they haven't even showed anything. That don't make no sense. So
Outside of like in battle, like, oh my god, here comes the boss, like out of something like that. And I've never seen anything.
Okay.
might be like how I forgot what's that Granblue fighting game called?
Versus.
Yeah, Versus. It might be how that does its storytelling.
They make it seem like a mobile game.
Yeah, that's probably what it's gonna be like. My hype for this game is completely drained.
Until he sees the big boobied waifu, and then he's like, "Okay, I'm into it again."
I ain't gonna lie, I could get to it, and then playing it on PC might struck my interest. But right now, I'm good.
You're good right now.
The comments I loved around this were like, "Why didn't they announce a Switch version?" It's like, are you looking at the game that's run on Switch? Are you kidding?
No, I can't Kadabra. Well, I said a lot of games couldn't run on Switch, and it's on Switch.
Wait,
At a cost though. But
isn't Cyberpunk on Switch?
No, Witcher is though. Witcher 3 is.
Yeah, Witcher is on.
I thought there was a Cyberpunk port.
No.
And
Shit,
Doom
it can barely
on
work on the
Switch,
PS4. It'll
exactly.
it'll basically be blobs walking around on the Switch. I mean, they couldn't even get Monster Hunter World to run on Switch. They had to make like a special Monster Hunter. So,
Which
really?
Looks pretty good, but it's not.
Yeah, Rise looks cool.
All right, so let's move to the next question. Next topic. Scarlet Nexus was showing off at the Game Awards, which we'll talk about later. Did you guys watch the new trailer?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean it looks pretty cool. I mean, anytime they show it, I'm like, yeah, that's that game.
It's that game. At least it looks like it runs. Yeah, it looks like it's like it runs better now. At least it runs at 60, so we're happy about that. I remember it was chugging along during some battles in the first release.
I remember that. Yeah.
What's interesting is they keep calling it a JRPG, and to me, every time I see it, I'm like, this looks like a Devil May Cry style game, like a character action game. But I've seen segments where you're like walking around the city, so I'm shocked that it's as RPG as they're saying it is, because they haven't shown much of that.
Who keeps saying it's a JRPG? Jeff Keighley?
Whenever they reference the game, like a brand new JRPG from Bandai Namco, the team that brought you Tales of Vesperia, they always say that too.
But is it Namco
the team
saying
that brought
that?
you Tales of Vesperia, yeah.
Is it Namco saying it? Because if it's not, we're talking about people who have no idea what a JRPG
no,
is.
Namco's been saying it, yeah.
Okay.
Like if you go to the website, it's like prominently on there.
I don't know what to think. We got to see more of it. But Xbox is really going on hard on it, so I don't know. Is there a PS5 version?
That's the only JRPG they got. That's probably
They know it's coming to everything.
Yeah, but they acting like it's only coming to Xbox.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of that, I mean, there's nothing to really talk about after that. You guys, have anything else to add to it?
Not really. I mean, it looks cool though. I'm excited. I mean, anytime you get a new JRPG franchise, that's always cool.
Yeah, honestly though, but the Scarlet Nexus, it looks good, but this looks like a one and done. I don't think we're gonna see another Scarlet Nexus game after this one. I mean, it kind of looks like Monster Hunter a little bit, the structure, the way it looks, but the combat does look fluid, I gotta say. But I'm just not. I got no hype for it. It's gonna be another game that just comes out, and I'm just gonna play it, and I'm probably not gonna be all that interested to finish it.
You know what people have been saying it looks like is that what's it called? That Switch game, the Chain something.
Oh, Astral Chain.
Astral Chain. Exactly.
People were saying this is Astral Chains.
That's exactly. Yeah, Astral Chain looked great on paper. I started playing it. I was like, I got no interest to keep playing this game.
Yeah, the controls looked weird. I heard you had to like wrap enemies up in your chain, and like the controls seemed weird.
Yeah, it seemed like something I could get used to, but I just like something about that game just turned me off. I was like, maybe I'll play it another time.
That's a shame because I like Platinum.
Yeah. Let's move towards the next Bandai Namco game, Tales of Arise. Development is progressing well. We're not going to see anything this year. We're going to see stuff next year. They're saying
I'm wondering
that
if that game's still coming out next year.
Yeah, that probably is. They said the 25th anniversary is 2 years instead of 1 year.
Oh, okay.
So the first year didn't have much, but next year it's gonna be awesome.
All right. I think that game's also gonna get a PS5 port too.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah. It says we decided to celebrate the 25th anniversary with you all for 2 years, so we still have another one left. I want you to all know that the second half will blow the first half out of the water. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get into details today, but we're preparing some really fun things since we're keeping you waiting so long. So
Good.
we're gonna get more info.
How dare you make us wait?
Maybe in maybe in January we could see it.
Yeah, it should show up early next year with a release of late 2021. There's no reason this game should be a 2022 game at all because they had it slated for a 2020 release.
I mean,
that's true.
We said the same thing about Granblue Relink, but look where that happened. Look at what happened with that,
Granblue Fantasy, it kind of it sucks that it got delayed, but like when you go back and look at it, they only showed that game so many times.
Yeah,
they only showed Arise so many times, so I don't know.
They've shown Arise twice.
Yeah, like twice. Like one was a full blown trailer, like debut trailer, and another one was like pretty much the same trailer, like 5 seconds of new content. That's new. New stuff about it.
It's more or less the same stuff. We've only seen those same 2 characters.
Yeah.
And they hinted at the quirky mage girl.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see more. Hopefully it doesn't disappoint us. I want to see actual gameplay and not trailer gameplay. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's another one. That's got to come out next year. I'm just so curious. They've shown so little. I don't even know what to really expect.
I think it's going to be of course it's going to be a good game, but I think it's also a game that Bandai Namco is looking to they're really looking for it to hit big for like casual audience. They're probably looking for it to make a splash like Persona 5 did for the most part. So I think this is really this might be a turning point for the Tale series at this point. If this game does well, doesn't do well.
Oh yeah, but why did Persona 5 explode like it did?
Because it looked awesome. I mean, I can.
No. Just tell me, because the other games didn't explode that well, but for some reason that one did, even though it's still a niche JRPG.
So I think it all started from Persona 4 Golden because that was like one of the first must-have Vita games. Because the original Persona 4 came out 2 years after the PS3 was out, so like nobody played it. And then on Vita, people were like, "Oh my god, this game is like unbelievable!" And so then when Persona 5 came out, they're like, there was already an audience and people were excited. And I remember the day that trailer came out, it was trending worldwide just because it looked amazing. Like the style of that first trailer, I don't think anybody ever expected with the menus and everything. So I think it just caught a lot of people's attention, and because Persona was building a fan base off Golden.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's my theory, but
see, Tales of Arise doesn't have that game to do that. The Tales series has, it's mediocre.
Right, exactly. And that, I put out a video a while ago called The Slow Decline of the Tales series. And that's like if you look at the sales are like slowly going down because they're kind of just making the same game over and over and over again without iterating or doing anything interesting. And when they try to iterate, they just like fall on their face. So completely. But Arise seems like the art style is totally new. Like the design seems new. So I think this could be a turning point in a good way for the Tales series because they've needed a shot in the arm because I think the games have been fine, and I know you guys like the Berseria at least, but to me they've just felt this series has been stale for a long time. I feel like
I think ever since Exillia, the series has been in a kind of a sort of a rut, kind of.
All they need to do is release the PS2 games.
No, that's not gonna happen.
As HD remakes,
Stop this. No.
That's all they need to do, and it will give them that shot in an arm because those games are great.
No, it's not. That's.
I know it's not going to happen, but it's what should happen.
Even if they did release those games, they wouldn't do anything for the Trail series. Series.
I don't know about that. If they did the Tales of Destiny 1 and 2 pack that I keep saying they should do,
I think it's old. I think it's too old. A lot of people probably
that would sell.
Exactly. Like, hold on. You honestly think that's gonna revolutionize the Tales series? Like, gonna put it on the map next to Persona? Is that what you're saying?
What Sky did for the Trail series.
Sky was the first series. But
it was also it also came out like not that long ago. The first one came out. When did it come out, Taylor?
2010, I think.
2010, right?
GSP?
Yeah. And then that didn't really do anything. It got big when Sky 2 came out, and they started releasing them on the PC, which was like in 2015, 2016. And then that's when the series started growing. And those games are old. Sky is really old. It was old when PSP came out, when the PSP version came out. So that's what I'm saying. If they show off the games, like, okay, play one of the games. It's like all I have to say is like play one of the classic Tales games, one of the greatest of all time. You know, they hype it up, really hype it up. That the West missed out on, and then they show off these games. They show off the battle system. They show off the world, and people will be like, "Whoa, this is awesome looking!" All they have to do is show off the crazy mystic arts in the Tales of Destiny remake.
But they still need a new game because the Trail series did have like the whole Steel series, so they still need something else. I guess that's where Arise comes in.
That's what Arise comes in.
I don't think the Tales of Destiny is going to do anything for the series. Well, I could be wrong. Okay, it's just like roadmap you displayed. So
I would totally like. Yeah, I can see it.
I feel like Arise is almost similar to like what happened with Fire Emblem with Awakening. Like I think it might be a make or break type game.
Yeah.
The thing is with the other Tales games, I don't think they underperformed. Like I think they probably made their money back, but I feel like Bandai Namco wants this series to be bigger. It has such a legacy. It's been around for so long, you know. So,
well, they've been playing it safe, right?
Yeah,
all they've been doing is they've been doing what Tales does. They make simple, typical JRPGs, and I don't fault them at that. They do what they do. People want them to, expand, and which looks like this is what Tales of Arise is doing.
They've always been trying to expand and do things different since Hysteria. Hysteria was one big experiment.
Yeah.
And then that failed fantastically, really. And then
I still think it was rushed. It was rushed.
Yeah, but then Berseria came out and just said, "All right, we're going to take Tales of Hysteria, but we're going to fix it up completely." And then that game came out I guess earlier in the year for the West at least, and nobody really it didn't really leave a big enough impact on the series as a whole.
It's because everyone, including Taylor, said, "Oh, this is just Tales of Hysteria," and Hysteria was really bad.
Well, I mean, I got burned by so many games in a row. I was like, dude, you had 1, 2, 3 chances. Like, sorry. Like,
yeah, I don't blame you.
Wait. No. What games? I think they've only messed up with Hysteria.
I mean, I thought Zillia. I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay, and then I think Zillia 2 felt really lazy. They reused a lot of assets. They reused a lot of areas.
I mean, it's a sequel.
It seemed like a quick cash grab type game. I actually kind of liked the story, but there was so much of it that I just didn't like. Like the payback, the debt system was so annoying. And then Hysteria, I just couldn't.
Did you play that?
What?
I think you did play it, right?
Yeah, I played quite a bit of it, but then at some point I was just bored.
Oh yeah, you got to the points where it's like these are just like RPG Maker dungeons.
Dude, same with Berseria has RPG Maker dungeons. I bought Berseria not too long ago, really, really cheaply, and I was playing one of the first dungeons. I'm like, dude, these dungeons are terrible. The dungeon designs are so bad.
Yeah, Yeah, Rise might be that, like Taylor said, might be that awakening for the series. Honestly, Fire Emblem Awakening. They're doing so much to change it. Like the combat, like I always say, the combat looks like it's westernized. Like it's nowhere looks like a full force JRPG or action JRPG. It looks like an action game for the most part. It's gonna have RPG elements. No transition into battle.
Yeah, but they keep saying it's like no. It's still a Tales game. It still has that
Of
Tales
course,
battle system.
of course they're gonna say that. Of course, so piss off like the minor fans online. Of course they're gonna say that. But I'm probably gonna play this game like, yeah, this is definitely westernized for the most part when it comes to combat. They're gonna say that, to keep in good graces with them.
To me, what it looks like is it kind of looks like the Ease combat, where it's just like a big open field with enemies, and you just run up, and it's like more hack and slash. That's kind of what it looks like to me.
That's what I'm feeling. I hope it's not hack and slash, and I hope it's actually there's detailed in the combat. Like the combos are really intricate and stuff like that. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if there was only 2 playable characters. I wouldn't be surprised if that means the combat is more intimate and more detailed. I wouldn't mind that. The Tales fans ain't gonna mind that. They're gonna be pissed. But it would make sense if the combat was that good. When you start like expanding the combat, you got to make accommodations for all the characters and whatnot. So maybe they're working on that. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe there will be 8 playable characters, which I think they confirmed or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, the director pretty much says like, this is a Tales game. You're gonna have your party. You're gonna have your same battle system and everything. But I don't know. You don't know. You just don't know.
I just worry about that because if they did have like other characters, why haven't they shown them by now? Like you telling me you couldn't show a character design by now? Well, what's the problem, Beers? And you were going to release in 2020? Like you don't have anything you can show? Like that don't make no sense to me. But hey, they're going to do a whole blowout next month, so we'll see.
Yeah, probably. So speaking of a game that might be changing its from its predecessor, The Legend of Heroes Kuro no Kiseki was announced. So it's Trails of Black is the latest chapter. It's going to be launched in 2021 in Japan. The game is set in Calvard, which I called it was going to happen.
Yeah, everybody was saying that, yeah.
The story is going to be focused on characters who can be described as somewhat in the gray zone of society, a detective, a negotiator, and a bounty hunter. The game engine is completely new. Character modeling has evolved. There's a significantly different feel when the character is in motion, so no more cheap PS Vita, yes.
Thank God.
It is somewhat small compared to Erebonia. The scale of the map is equivalent to that of the Cold Steel series, so I don't know what that means. Because Erebonia is Cold Steel. It is still in development, but Kondo believes it'll be very close in terms of size. So maybe Cold Steel 1 is going to be like that, as big as that. I don't know. 90% of the characters in Kuro no Kiseki are new. If you did not know any better, you might look at the game's screen and not realize it's a Trails game.
That's interesting. I wonder what he means by that.
10% of the cast will be characters that are highly anticipated by the fans. 3 characters have been revealed so far. A Kirito-looking character, a dual-wielding redhead character with a Middle Eastern appearance, and a character that looks like Elisa, minus the attitude, but with the chest of Ryza. I'm
mad how they said that. Like, did they literally say that? Is that literally in the translation?
No, like, I'm pretty sure that's the guy who translated this game.
I'm about to say, that has to be... There's no way they said Ryza and Kirito. Like, what?
Kondo would not say which one is the protagonist, though it's obvious if you recall the earlier note about the protagonist's associated colors. Fans would be disappointed if the society was not depicted. Kondo said it was unable to comment on the oaths, but will be depicted properly. I'm pretty sure the society would be there. It's going to be there. The game will have a proper ending, so that probably means there's no cliffhangers.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. About that cliffhanger.
I read somewhere that he regrets not calling Hajimari no Kiseki
he says
Trails of White or something.
Yeah, he says that right here. I just skipped that up because we don't have Hajimari yet. Kono said it would have been nice if the Legend of Heroes Hajimari no Kiseki was titled Shiro no Kiseki instead to complement this one. Where are you?
At least in the West, can call it Trails of White. Why not?
I know, right?
That's true. Yeah, they can name it whatever they want.
If the game does not sell well, there will be no sequel, and the Trails of series is no exception.
That's a little bit scary to think about. I don't know what they were saying with that. Maybe there won't be a sequel to this game.
I don't know.
Or there's like at all. Maybe there might the Trail series might go dark for a while. That's a little bit scary to think about.
The amount of content in the game is about the equal to a single Trails of Cold Steel title, which doesn't mean anything because Cold Steel 1 has less than 2, and 2 has a lot, and 3, but 2 has more than 3, but 4 has a ton.
Like 150 hours.
Yes.
So I think it's just going to be a normal RPG. RPG.
Yeah.
50, 60 hours, yeah.
Trails of Cold Steel games had a large number of allies, but Kuro no Kiseki will not have as many due to the protagonist's line of work. Instead, there will be more enemies. There will not be 50 playable characters.
That's kind of good. I like it when it's more limited.
There is a screenshot of a battle scene. Movement and battles are seamless. While action... Okay, here's the controversial part. While action elements have been added, Falcom is not considering anything that requires any sort of input skills. Commands are inputted in real time instead of pausing. You will have the option to switch to command-style battles.
Interesting.
What does that say to you? People, some people have been saying that this is an action game now. It's going to be completely action. And I'm just like, you know what this sounds like? It sounds like ATB.
Yeah, ATB or something... Like, have either of you guys played Ryza? Like, I know Shadow, you played Ryza, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's almost like Valkyrie profile, sort of, where like people's bars fill up and then you're able to input commands and like they all kind of go in real time. So that would be my guess.
That means if it's not pausing, right, it's not going to pause the battle. The enemies will still be able to do stuff to you.
Yeah.
Because if it's action, then they wouldn't say that the action elements have been added, but it's not considering anything that requires any sort of input skills. So it's not going to be it's not going to be like, skillful, like
blazing fast,
ease and stuff like that. So it doesn't. And then you will also have the option to switch to command style battles. So it's like, oh, let's turn ATB off for easy mode, right? Arts and crafts remain as they were, but Arceus is replaced by Ziffa. There are no combat leagues or brave orders, but there is a new system in place that is said to be quite amazing. There is a topic system that has to do with conversations with NPCs. Maybe that's more, it's like, you talk to an NPC and then you get able to ask them different questions, and it's usually like generic questions and you could talk to them about it. So they don't say the same thing over and over again. There's an alignment system called the Alignment Flame. Depending on your playstyle, your character's alignment is lawful, gray, or chaotic. It will change, influencing your status as well as the story, but there will not be any situation where an event does not occur due to your specific alignment. There's an alternative to bond events, so there's going to be social links. Platform says he would like to release it on PS4 as well as other platforms. Also thinking about a PS5 version. That's it.
That's amazing that game is. It's still not even. It's coming out next year, and they're like, "Oh, we'll think about a PS5 version."
I'm pretty sure they're gonna do a PS5 version. But if you look at the graphics, it looks like Tales of Arise a little bit. So I think that's gonna be what the new system's gonna look like, or the new engine's gonna look like. But we'll find out, actually, I think, in a couple weeks. Maybe next week, actually. Where are you? Let me see. It's going to be...
for the Falcom event?
December 20th. Yeah, in 4 days. We'll probably find out in 4 days. So that's interesting. Too bad we're not gonna get this until like 3 years from now.
Nah, we'll get it in 2022.
Yeah, probably.
They're not gonna take forever to get this out. We're getting Hajimara no Kiseki next year. We'll get this in 2022.
Yes. Oh, hoping. Do a little quick one. Nayuta no Kiseki is coming to PS4 in Japan in 2021, which is a Trails of game, but not a Legend of Heroes game. That was on the PSP, and it's an action game. Have you looked into this at all?
I saw Craft's video on it, so that's about as much as I know. I mean, it basically looks like an Ys game, but it's in the Trails universe or something.
We don't know. Maybe.
This is all in preparation for Koro's release, Koro no Kiseki release. Basically, they're trying to get people used to the idea of action-based combat. That's first of all, and second of all, the ending for Cold Steel 4 revealed a lot of things. They say that this game is a spin-off, but it might not be, or it might be set in the same universe, as we said before. So yeah, the fact that this game is coming out means that it's connected to the whole Zamiria thing, or arc, I guess you could say, or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, I need to look more into it. Oh, but yeah, I finally beat Cold Steel 4. I beat it 3 times. So so this is what I've noticed, okay? Falcom games have true endings. They all of them do. The last 3 games from Falcom I played have true endings. Kodokyo Xanadu, Ys 8, and now Cold Steel 4 has one. I'm pretty sure Ys 9 has one as well. If you don't get the true ending in Cold Steel 4, you will be very disappointed.
I mean, I'm not going to play it, so...
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just saying, get that true ending. And to get that true ending, you have to do all the side quests in the final act.
Yeah, that's why I told you to make sure you did it. You do them.
I almost missed one. I looked it up because I explored everywhere. I'm like, did I find them all? You know what? I'm just going to check just in case. And I missed one. And Taylor, these are not like these are not ones that are like, oh, go get some milk and give it to this old lady in the next town. This was like really intense side quests, like super story heavy ones. And yeah, and the true ending's great. I love the true ending. But then I did it again, right? Like the game ended, the true ending ended, and then it went to the menu, and then I played it again, and another scene played that I didn't get the last time.
Yeah, I don't know why the hell they did that.
So you saw that scene, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. I was super surprised. I was like, oh, okay, it's done, and then it popped up. I'm like, wait a second, and then it was just like, what the heck? Why would they do this? This is like a huge reveal.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I don't know how the Japanese people discovered that anyway. Somebody must I guess somebody wanted to see the ending again like I did.
Yeah, me too. That's what I did.
Loaded it up and just loaded it up again. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, the first time around, did I accidentally hit the skip button or something like that? Like, what?
That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, am I going crazy? Did you play it again to see if there's anything else?
No, I
It's super easy to skip it all. Just do the auto skip, and it just goes by really quick. And then you have to watch the credits again. But the credits are nice because you get to see all the pictures, and you're like, oh.
That's one of the things I think Cold Steel 4 kind of dropped the ball with when it came to the endings. There should have been just one ending. I don't know what the hell this normal and the ending and true ending stuff is about. Yes, the true ending was very good, very heartfelt. Kind of like almost got my tear ducts a little bit, but there's no reason to have the normal ending. Pick one, unless it's explained in Hajimari no Kiseki. I guess actually it could be explained with
no
somebody's power.
It's not. Well, I mean, Hajimari just pretty much confirms that the true ending is the true. It's like actually the ending. Like the normal ending is nothing. It's just like it's like you got the bad ending.
But it's like, but it could also be what happens with what's her name in Crossbow. I don't know if she still has her powers, but she can do some stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for anybody listening. But I think you know what I'm talking about, and you know the character I'm
Yeah,
talking
I know
about.
what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. And I haven't played Azure, but I know what you're talking about. I mean, Azure is pretty much spoiled for me in Cold Steel 4 anyway. So
Wait, you didn't play Azure? Really?
no, I didn't. Because I'm waiting for the big, the big fan translation.
Oh man. Okay, all right,
But
fair enough.
I now know who the big baddie is, so it's just like, okay, well, okay, I get you.
Okay, all right.
Well, because it's spoiled in like that prologue of Cold Steel 4.
That's true. Yeah, they don't dive too much into it, but they definitely talk about it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, at least at the beginning of the final chapter, it tells you be sure to do all the side quests to get the best ending. So it does tell you. You could be lazy and not do it. Okay, so Taylor.
Yes.
If you got a prompt on the final act, right, and it says make sure to do all the side quests, and it says all the side quests, even the secret ones.
Mm-hmm.
To get the best ending, would you do it?
Sure. Depending on how much work it took, but yeah, probably. The tricky part is when you don't know what you need to do. Like when Kingdom Hearts does that crap, and like, oh, you didn't get all the little Mickey Mouse icons or whatever stupid crap you got to do in those games, and but yeah, if it told me what to do, sure.
Well, yeah. So there's 3 that are shown you could get through the computer, and then there's 2 you could get from the computer, and then there's 3 that you have to find in the world map. But the world map tells you what area has been updated, so all you have to do is explore those areas, and then you'll find them because there's a big green star of what you need to do. So that wasn't too hard. But they're long. They're the long side quests. So
how long is long?
Like 20 minutes or so.
Not
so
bad,
I remember I loaded up the file right before that, and I was at like 130 or 125 hours. When I finished the game, I was at 150 something hours, and that's just from the final act itself. So it's a long final act.
Jeez.
Way worth it though. All right. So the Game Awards happened. Let's talk about some of this. What do you think about Sephiroth in Smash Brothers?
Oh yeah, that was that was unexpected.
Yeah. Okay, Taylor, were you recording yourself while watching it?
Nah, I worked that day, and then I didn't get off not too long after. So I was eating dinner at the time. Like, I'll just have it on while I'm eating dinner. So
man, I wanted to see if you did a reaction to that. Cause your reaction towards Sephiroth would have been like, what?
Well, because I couldn't really tell at first because I was watching with the sound off, but it plays the music and right away it's Sephiroth, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, what is it? And they're looking and it's something in the sky. I'm like, what? And then it zoomed in. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Not at all who I was expecting.
No.
People were saying like Dante or Crash or
no
whatever.
one was expecting this. We were just watching. We're like, okay, who's gonna be the character? It's gonna be the character. And then Asian and I were just watching, and the music started. And we're like, wait, what? What is this? It's like they lied to us. They said only one character for a new franchise, but now there's 2.
Dun dun dun.
Anything's on the table now.
Yep. Yeah, somebody this guy I follow on Twitter he did like a big drawing collage of all the people he thought were going to be in the next season pass, and so far he's gotten every character right. So it was like let me see if I can pull it up.
Just share it on the Discord.
Yeah. So at first it's Steve from Minecraft in the background looking all menacing, and then he has Min Min. Let's see, come on, and then then Sephiroth. So I got.
How do you pick those exact characters?
I don't know. I mean,
What's the other ones?
okay, let's see. They got Dante, Crash. Yeah, Dante and Crash. So
if he gets,
there's 3 more. So he has Dante, Crash, and then he's got 2B with a question mark. And then he has like Breath of the Wild Zelda. And I don't know if they ever added her as a separate character. Like they have like Toon Link and whatever, all the different links.
No, they haven't. I think they specifically said they weren't because she's very passive in Breath of the Wild and didn't have any move sets. She wouldn't have any moves, so that's why they went with Twilight Princesses Zelda. I think it's Twilight Princesses.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying. So there's 3 left. What do you guys think will be next or left?
That's so crazy that he predicted that.
I know.
I could see the future. I mean, I could totally see Crash.
Oh, that's what he was doing with what's his face from Xenoblade. I was like, why is the Xenoblade guy there?
Yeah. You could see the future.
Shulk. Excuse me.
Well, I can see some of those characters on there. Not the Zelda though. Not Zelda.
Yeah, I could see Crash for sure. I could see like a hunter for Monster Hunter.
That's what people were expecting as well.
Because I think that's a character in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, right?
Yep. One of the DLCs.
Yeah. So Monster Hunter is very closely related to Nintendo, so I could see Monster Hunter. Crash, I think, makes a lot of sense. Dante maybe. I'm surprised they haven't done a Resident Evil character.
Oh, anything's on the table now. So
yeah. Okay, so Fighter Pass 1 was Piranha Plant, Joker, the Dragon Quest hero, Banjo-Kazooie. What the heck is that guy's name from Fatal Fury?
Guy?
No.
Guy?
What the hell is his name?
Oh my gosh. I used him. He was fun.
And then Byleth was the other one.
Yeah, that pissed me off. I'm pretty sure it's...
I gotta look this up because it's gonna bug me. Terry Bogard.
Terry.
That would have been embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
So I don't know. Because I got their Square character, they got their JRPG character, I got their Microsoft character, got a Nintendo character. There'll be another Fire Emblem character, I think.
It better not be. Is there any other news that you were excited about in Game Awards?
Not really.
You didn't like the new Dragon Age, the new Mass Effect?
They were like nothing announcements. It was like we're working on them. It's like
the only announcement is it's a reboot. Both of them are reboots.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thanks, man. Oop.
Yeah, there was that new game that looked like a Dead Space kind of game.
Oh,
not a JRPG, but I know you're probably excited for it.
People are like, "Oh, this is Dead Space. This looks like Dead Space," and then the developer comes up. I'm like, "It's Dead Space,"
because that's like, the same guy.
It's
right?
the guy who made Dead Space. I'm like, "Oh, he's making a spiritual successor to Dead Space. That's sick." And then there's a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, which I have the alpha right now.
What's that game called?
Back 4 Blood.
Back 4 Blood. Cool.
And people are like, "Oh my gosh, this is such a Left 4 Dead ripoff." It's like, no, it's made by the guys who made Left 4 Dead, people. That's what it is. And then everything else was So let's move on to questions.
All right.
Spaghetti asks, how can I convince my normie friends to play hardcore JRPGs? The JRPG-like games they play are Pokemon.
Ooh. I mean, I've always said Pokemon's a good starter JRPG, so my thought is like try to get them to play something that's kind of similar. Because I feel like in a way, Persona is like, or SMT is sort of like Pokemon, where you get to capture demons and fight with them, explore, level up.
Yes, but it's super hardcore.
Yeah.
I got Spaghetti. You gotta tell us how normie these people are. Are they anime normies? Or are they completely normies? Are they like, we watch reality TV and watch CNN normies?
They're like just how normie they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're nerds. We like Marvel and Star Wars. We're totally nerds. Those kind of normies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think because I'm trying to think of friends that have played Pokemon. Like, what else would they like? I mean, Final Fantasy is always an easy recommend. I'm trying to think
If they like Animal Crossing, you know what they should play next.
Yeah, maybe like Rune Factory or something like that.
Rune Factory 4. Because it's Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon plus dungeon crawling and waifu or husbando simulator. It's all of that.
Well, this doesn't have combat, but the new Story of Seasons game has crafting stuff like Animal Crossing, where you can like design your own little area near your home or whatever.
Yep.
Again, not a JRPG, but
oh man,
maybe Kingdom Hearts, as weird as that is. Just
No,
because it's like, Disney characters, I know that.
Yes, but then they'll be like, this is weird. I don't like JRPGs. It's so like Kingdom Hearts is so out there.
Yeah. It's even hard for like people like me. Like, I can't even play all the side games. I've only played 1, 2, and 3, and Birth by Sleep, and that's it.
You played the good ones then.
Yep.
Man, Mine's like, okay, you got to start them off with Grandia, and then you got to move them up, and then play a Tales game, and then it's hard.
Yeah,
you gotta have another question, question part 2 to this, Spaghetti. Will Kreplin asks, does this look infected to you? And I will say, yes, I am sorry, but we're going to have to amputate it.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Either amputate it or go to the hospital. Looks bad.
Pretty bad. Pigeon Senpai asked, fire, water, wind, earth, light, or dark? Which one of these elements would you be in a JRPG?
Oh, water. I always go water. Anything if given the option.
Water.
I'll be a waterbender or live in like an oceanside village or something.
That would be wind or darkness.
Wind or darkness.
Yep.
Shadow, do you have an element that you prefer?
I'll probably go with fire.
Fire.
Okay.
He's an E-freak kind of guy. Josiah Taku asks, have you ever learned anything from JRPGs or video games in general that have impacted your real life? For me, I feel like video games have made me better at planning and packing for trips.
What? What did you say? What was the first one?
Planning or packing for trips.
Oh, planning. Oh, okay.
That's funny. Not really. I mean, if I thought about it, I could be like, well, you could apply this, but nothing has ever been like, wow, that was such a great. Well, you know what? I take that back. I really liked. It was more of a confirmation. Like during while I was playing Persona 5, Makoto's character is all about like, oh, I'm like the good daughter, the good sister, and I'm the class president and whatever, and I do what my family says. But then when like she awakens her persona, she's like, I'm gonna live my own life or whatever. And at the time, that's kind of how I was feeling with my family in a way, where I was like, they have this perception of me, and I wanted to like do my own thing, I guess. So I don't know, like seeing Makoto's arc was kind of, I don't know, it helped with that.
It hit home.
Yeah.
There's also one thing there's also a game that has impacted your life. World of Warcraft. You almost flunked out of college because of it.
That's true.
That impacted you.
That would have been bad. That wasn't a JRPG though, but
he said video games in general.
Oh, video games in general. Okay, well there you go.
For me, I know one thing I learned is that when I was I learned from MechWarrior that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters, and I played this when I was 6, so I knew that. And I remember when the teacher asked us, "How many meters is in a kilometer?" I'm like, I know, just because of MechWarrior.
That's funny. Good old MechWarrior.
Good old MechWarrior. What about you, Shadow?
Just gaming in general, right? So I probably learned a lot from the Metal Gear series. Like basically about how government is run, how weapons of mass destruction probably work, and stuff like that. Yeah, I watched the cutscenes from Metal Gear a lot, and I found out later in life they really do apply to real life situations. So it's yeah, it's crazy. I found that pretty crazy. So yeah, a lot of things I learned from Metal Gear when it comes to that stuff.
Metal Gear has really good cutscenes.
Yeah.
I learned from Harvest Moon that if you give girls weeds enough, they'll just marry you.
They have to have pink hair though.
Sounds legit.
That's true.
Azeroth asks, what sort of reactions have you received from your parents walking in when you're playing JRPGs? Example, in Xenogears, my mom cried when she heard the music in Rico's backstory scene. She walked into my room because she couldn't believe what she was hearing.
I don't know if I've had any family really walk in on me playing JRPGs too many times. It's mainly been friends. Yeah, I don't have a good answer for that, unfortunately.
I don't have anything really.
Yeah, nothing happened to me. I mean, my dad plays games too, so he wouldn't really care.
Yeah, exactly. My dad plays games hardcore too, so he doesn't really care. I'm trying to figure out if there's like a different game that was really awkward for them to see me playing. Nah, he never actually.
So I was playing in the Rogue once, and
Okay. Maybe I was playing. I think I remember something while I was playing Hyperdimension Neptunia, like the very first game. And I think my dad saw me playing it, but he didn't say anything. He didn't really care. He just knew I played like RPGs in the anime game, so he didn't really care. So I think that was it. Like there are some games where I would be dead embarrassed caught playing by my parents. I'll tell you right now, like any of the Atelier games before Ryza, I definitely would be embarrassed to be caught.
Oh yeah, they're just so cutesy. Like
yeah, really girly.
I'm doing this for my YouTube channel, Mom.
What are you playing?
Like, out of curiosity, what does your dad play? Like, what kind of games does he play?
Oh, he plays like all the mainstream stuff, really. So he's playing Cyberpunk right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he was trying to play Hades, Immortal Phoenix Rising or something like that. Was his next game to try? He was going to try to play. Yeah, he plays everything. Yeah. Well, not RPGs really, but just.
I mean, I've had my parents walk in when I'm watching anime. And some of that stuff is raunchy, you know.
Yeah, even that they don't care. I'm watching if I'm watching like a really raunchy anime, which I don't think they ever walked me watching a really raunchy anime. I think they walked in on me playing Samurai Kogura one time, but they knew I was playing that, so it's like, okay, yeah, we don't care. He's a straight male, so it doesn't really surprise me that he's playing that game.
I mean, I went in the front room one time and Dad was watching High School of the Dead. So
okay, see, I don't know if that would be awkward.
He was watching that, and he was just watching it. He's like, yeah, he was like, this is ridiculous. I think I'm done with this.
Yeah, see, that's what I was also thinking to myself. Like, if I caught my dad watching like a really raunchy anime like High School DxD, I'd be like, "What are you watching? Why are you watching this anime?" That'd be weird because my dad also watches anime, but
I think my dad watched High School DxD. I think I seen him watch it once.
That'd be weird for me to see. Because I'm watching like Black Lagoon, stuff like that, like serious anime, like Cowboy Bebop. Like that's cool, but Watch a High School DxD. That's like what?
Yeah. Then again,
Might
we
as well
watch
just be watching hentai at that point.
Exactly. Yeah.
Things we see. The things we see. What about you? What's the thing you used to say all the time, Taylor? Is it Real But High School?
Oh wow, Real About High School. Wow. But we watch Real About High School. I don't even know if I've ever actually watched that show.
We never watched that show, and then you always said it. You always said it. It's like, hey Taylor, what should we do? What should we get to eat? How about we go to Real But High School? That's what you always did. You did that for like years.
That's right. That's funny. Never seen the show.
So, guys, if you ever seen Real About High School, please, or read it, please tell us what it was, because we have no idea. It's at my house, but we've never watched it.
Real About High School. I think it must be some competitive fighting gang high school something.
That's what I think, because when I think about High School DxD, that's what pops in my head. Real About High School. Fuka LeConk asks, do you have this is a good question. Do you have a harder time going back to older JRPGs with a very slow turn-based battle system with really long animations for everything? Biggest examples I could think of are Xenogears, Xenosaga, Lunar, Final Fantasy IX, and Dragon Quest VIII.
I could always go back to old school JRPGs. The only JRPG that I could not go back to when I was like a couple of years ago, I was going on a whole old school binge. I couldn't play Legend of Dragoon. That game was way too slow.
Really?
That game was
Dude,
wow.
Taylor,
that's
Taylor,
interesting, because that's the one I can go back to.
No, when's the last time you've gone back to it?
It's been a while.
You should try. It is really hard. Like I was playing it, but the animations are so long.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they were so long. Like no, there's like the special moves. It's funny because
with the dragoons,
the moves are super long, and then like they go through this huge animation, right? And then it just goes this. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's because I have some nostalgia for that game, but yeah, it's been a while. I may not be able to.
I want you to try. I want to see if you can, because it was getting to me. I was like, man, these animations are really long. So like I would play the game battle system, I'll put the Vita down and go like, okay, I'll just read a book.
I'll read a book. Can't deal with this crap.
And I'll finish this manga series, this one manga book, and then I'll be like, oh, it's still halfway done with the animation. Let's do another one. I could go back to old games all the time. It doesn't really bother me. But there are some games that are old games that are better than others. Like Chrono Trigger, that one has aged like fine wine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm looking at my mic when I'm talking like that. Should be looking at
like
the cam.
Fine wine.
I should act look at the webcam.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, some definitely hold up better than others. But yeah, I definitely have a lot of trouble. Unless it has either some sort of speed up mechanic or I played it when it was out and I have like some kind of nostalgia for it, then yeah, it's hard to go back to for me.
Speaking of speed up mechanic, this can off a complete tangent. If you use the speed up feature on Cold Steel 4 Shadow, does it speed up your time? Your timer?
Don't think it does, no.
Because if it didn't, and I didn't never use that speed up mechanic, I think I would be over 200 hours.
How many hours did you put in?
150.
Damn, how'd you put it on there?
It's just because I was exploring everywhere. Whenever I go to the map and I see a new, I always go to it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because there's got to be something there. But sometimes there's not. Sometimes, this is funny, Taylor. Sometimes all it was just an NPC moved from behind the desk to a dresser over there. That's all.
And they're like, today I felt like standing over here by this dresser saying, oh man, that world building is so amazing. Good. I'm so glad I took the time to talk to them.
So that's something. So when I would because you could just fast travel everywhere pretty much, right? So I'd go to it, bam, 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 and then I'm like, oh, that's all it is? Okay, I'll go back. It's the OCD, man. OCD.
Funny.
Kartacha asks, what do you find to be the most prevalent wrong opinions about the JRPG genre?
That Trails of Cold Steel is a good JRPG series. Let's see. I don't know.
That Tales of Symphonia is an actual good game.
That pretty much turn-based is dead.
Yeah.
Kind of. I honestly kind of like before, like maybe a year or two back, I probably would outright disagree with that. But I kind of get where it's coming from, because turn-based games, they don't really sell like they should unless it's an already pre-established franchise. If you're looking for a game to really branch out and to get casuals interested in your game, turn-based is not going to be it. So I don't know.
The only way to get people to like the mainstream to actually get into turn-based is you have to make it flashy.
Yeah.
Cool animations.
May I remind you, Pokemon is a turn-based RPG.
Yeah, and people are pissed about how lazy it looks.
It doesn't matter. It's still you were arguing about whether the masses can get into turn-based JRPGs, and Pokemon's turn-based, and it's arguably, no, it's not arguably, it is the biggest JRPG franchise. So,
oh man, we really gonna go there?
And it would be 100 times bigger if they just added some effort to the animations. So.
Yeah, well, it doesn't really have to, because it's sold like how much? Best-selling game the franchise?
I mean, each one usually sells like 14 million, 15 million copies, somewhere around there.
They really don't have to do anything.
No, they could get a bag full of shit and put the Pokemon next one up, and people would buy it.
Absolutely.
You don't believe? I believe that would happen. I mean, if people bought bricks that just said Supreme on them, I'm pretty sure people would buy that just because it says Pokemon on it.
Yeah, people do dumb things.
Yep. I gotta have that brick.
It says Supreme on it.
Yeah, it's Supreme. Opinions. It's like, I think it's kind of like that people think JRPGs are for kids because it's a lot of them are anime, and a lot of people have had the weird fixation that anime's for kids.
Yeah, it still has that stigma.
I know, and I'm just like, have you not watched, like Attack on Titan, Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah, like anything with like an anime art style, people
scoff at it.
Yeah, which sucks, but
trust me, it's really good. It's really good. It's a cartoon. It's made for kids. I know so many people with that mindset. It really annoys me. Hookalakonk also asked, besides Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VII, gameplay-wise, what classic JRPG do you guys feel has aged the best? I can say this right now. Grandia. Grandia has aged really well. Graphics might be a little dated. Even then, yeah, I think the gameplay, the story, and how everything feels is aged really well.
Gameplay wise, yeah. I mean, I haven't played Grandia in a while, but probably that. Besides Chrono Trigger and 7, I'm trying to think.
Do you believe Tactics has aged well?
Yeah, for sure. That gameplay still holds up real well. Games are still trying to surpass it. So I'd say Tactics, I guess. Even though that's the way we categorize things, we got to figure this out one of
Yeah.
these days. But yeah,
But it has aged. It has aged really well. I remember,
so.
I think Maddie tried it once and she couldn't figure it out.
If you're not used to strategy RPGs, it's very it's strange for sure.
But
There's definitely a big like learning curve with those types of games. So,
but the story is just so good.
Yeah, good story, good characters, the customization. That's what I love the most. You just build your guys however you want. Man, I'm really scratching my head here trying to think of some classic ones because I want to say like 9, but I think without the speed and mechanics, I don't think 9 holds up well gameplay wise. Final Fantasy 9 to be specific.
Yeah, I mean he says Final Fantasy 7 has aged well.
Yeah. I haven't played the Super Nintendo versions of Trials of Mana or Secret of Mana. So I'd be curious to go back to play those to see if those hold up.
Oh, I don't know about Trials of Mana. About Secret of Mana, no. That game in general just hasn't aged well.
Yeah, I'd be curious about Trials of Mana because the remake was really good. Yeah, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. Because usually that's the problem is game. Usually it's like story and music and everything. There's still some charm to it, and you put up with the gameplay. But yeah, nothing else. And maybe Parasite Eve, but that's even sort of a weird example too.
I would say, I mean, in my humble opinion, Tales of Destiny has aged well. But I think the person who's asked this would not believe that because I think they actually tried and did not like it. Yeah. I know it's like it's the battle system's slow. It's a second Tales game, so it's not as fast and combo heavy as the other ones. Like you do 1 slash and then a special ability and that's it. That's the combo. But it's designed with that in mind, so it works. But it is archaic, so you really have to think about where to go next and use a guide sometimes. You might get lost. I've never gotten lost because I know that game by heart, but I don't know how it is to other people.
Yeah, that's the other. Oh, you know what game I would say kind of holds up is Wild Arms. That is a game that you can get lost in, but it has these really neat puzzle mechanics where each character has like a different tool. Like one person has like a grappling hook and one person has bombs or whatever. And so doing the puzzles is pretty fun. And it's like a pretty straightforward battle system, but the puzzle stuff is really fun. So I'll toss in Wild Arms.
All right. Do you have one, Shadow?
Not really, to be honest.
You can't really think of one. It's hard to think of one. The only one I know for sure is Grandia because I played that so many times. It's like, yeah, definitely.
Maybe Xenogears or Chrono Cross.
Chrono Cross, yeah, that's an interesting battle system.
What do you think about Shadow Hearts Covenant?
I
think that's aged because I know the original Shadow Hearts has not aged that well because that's like a beginning. It has that early PS2 feel, and those games always feel weird. But the second one is actually,
yeah, Covenant might have actually been pretty good. It might age well because I play it off and on when I want to just capture some footage. Yeah, it's not too bad. The Judgment Ring system is fast enough in the way the battle moves. Yeah, it doesn't feel too dated.
Man, I think that would be the last question for now.
All right.
That'll be the end of the episode. This is gonna be the final episode of this year. I want to edit things and change up the background and everything for the podcast. So I have 2 weeks to do that. Also, it's Christmas and New Year's, so I'm pretty sure you guys will want to not be bothered. But
we don't want to bother them with our podcast that they like listening to.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was talking to you. I was talking to Taylor and Shadow. But yeah, so thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for being with us with this hectic year, and we'll see you in 2021 with our next episode. See you there.
Laters.
Bye.